So, this is my Mario Strikers Battle League football review. I was supposed to do this months ago, or maybe even like almost like a year ago, because this game came out in June 2022. But I still play it to this day though, so it's not too bad. I guess it's fine because like all the content has dropped and I can finally get all my opinions out there on like what the game turned into. I guess I won't beat around the bush. Like to me, it's my favorite Switch game. And the funny thing is, there's a lot of shortcomings to it, and a lot of people are really negative about this game, and I won't really blame them. Honestly, I would say that objectively, like the Wii version, Mario Strikers Charge, was a lot better. It had so much more content and stuff, but purely the gameplay and the online functionality is just what makes this game so much more fun to me. So I have a couple of critiques that people give to it that I think are fair, and I have a couple of things I wrote down that I like, and I got some anecdotal stuff that I want to get into. And let's just start with something that I really like about this game, and that's the fast pace. And I know that in like Mario Strikers Charge, the ball went a lot faster. The ball is kind of slow in this game, but that's not that big of a deal to me because it's like a lot more overseeable. But like the court is really small, and that makes it have a really fast pace. And I have characters with like very much speed and technique. It makes them fast dribblers. So to me, the game is really fast. Doesn't have to be. You can be a lot more slower with your characters, but still the game would feel pretty fast. I would also say that the game is easy to learn and hard to master, which I really love. Everyone can play this game. I've played it with a couple of friends who never really play it, and they enjoyed it. They picked it up quickly, and me for like tens of hours. I just did the basics, and then eventually I learned to do the like techniques, the through passing, and I learned how to control like the dodging and stuff like that. That takes a while, right? But that's so fun about the game that everybody can pick it up, but it's hard to master, right? Okay, let's get into some critiques, right? People say the courts are small and the rosters are small. That's definitely fair. I wouldn't have minded if the courts were bigger, though I will say I enjoy it because it's just like it just gives me like street soccer vibes, right? It's just a small court. This game, in my opinion, it really compares to like basketball. Like it's like you're playing NBA Jam or something like that, right? To me, that's really fun about the game. People say there aren't really gimmicks, and when I say that, I mean like special shots from like the sidekicks, right? Everybody's just like a boring character. There's no gimmicks to it. And the courts have no gimmicks either. There's nothing like tilting stages or whatever. Uh, yeah, I definitely missed that. I would have enjoyed that, even if it was just for like an offline mode. That would have been fun, right? Like it's really competitive, it's really serious, and that's fun. I wish it did have more gimmicks. Absolutely. But then some more things I like, and that the game is very, very balanced. Every character is very good, very usable. Me personally, I would say that Wario and Luigi are like, and I guess Daisy are like the worst characters, I would say. Because you can't, like, Luigi's kind of like a playmaker, but you can't make him super fast, like I did with my Peach, who is very fast. And Wario is like a defensive character, but he's much smaller in terms of hitboxes than Donkey Kong and Bowser. So it's like, what's the point, right? And then Daisy is just slow, but not big. And she's not like a great defender or a great playmaker. Daisy's a weird character. So those three, in my opinion, are like the worst characters. Yet they're still very good, very balanced. Like I wouldn't blame you if you used them, right? There's no bad characters in this game, and I really like that. Um, I would say gameplay is much better than the previous games because of the balance, because of all the techniques, and the fact that there's no captains and no sidekicks, right? I really like that everybody is just a captain basically. You can switch them around and use them however you like, and everybody's just equal, right? I like that you don't have the special shot, like right, like the hyper strike is what they call it in this game. I like that it's a pickup and that it's not just something you can always do. And it makes for extra tactics, right? To have that pickup. You don't have to use it, right? I don't always use it when I have it, and it just makes people like scared of me to shoot. And it's fun. And I love the gear customization. I have messed around with it so much. I feel like half the hours I put in, which I will say I put basically 300 hours in this game. It's ridiculous. That's how much I enjoyed this game. Uh, I messed around with the gear settings so much, like half the time I would say. It's just so much fun because like a lot of characters they're like well balanced. Like some have like only 9 or 10 passing, for example. But like if it's a character that I won't use to like pass with, then it's like I can nerf it all the way to like 2 or 3 passing, right? And that means that they'll have so much defense or shooting, right? That's so fun to do, and I messed around with it so much. I nitpicked every little detail. That's so much fun to me. Actually, let's talk about my setup. Like I have a club. Well, you have to make 4 characters, or I guess like other people will have to join you. But what I did, and it's actually kind of lame that I had to, but like I have a family Nintendo Switch online plan, so I made other accounts and I joined myself. Right? It's a really lame workaround, but that's like I got 4 characters that I like to use, and I got a club of just 4 of my own characters. It's really lame that I had to do it like that, but it's how it worked out for me. So the characters I use, usually it's a Peach with 25 speed, which is maxed out, and she will have very low strength, which is only like 3 or something. And currently, I kind of mess around with it still from time to time, but currently I have a build of her where she has 10 shooting, 12 passing, and 12 technique. The 12 technique makes her a fast dribbler, so on top of her having 25 speed, she also has enough technique to still dribble fast. Um, and then the 12 passing is just good enough for me to just pass from kind of far away, but still mostly be from close up, right? Because she's just fast. And then the 10 shooting makes her so she can still finish shots from close, right? It's really ideal for me. I also messed around with like her having like 8 shooting and 12 passing and like 15 technique. I had that before, but I've noticed that like the extra shooting is really nice to have. So that's like my main character, like that I always use the Speedy Peach. And then often I'd have like a Rosalina would have like 23 shooting and like 15 technique. And it looked really cool because like there was so much like fire or electricity coming from the ball because it went so fast, right? But nowadays I kind of nerfed that to like 20 shooting and 16 technique, something like that. So she'd still have like 14 strength and 11 speed, and but she only has like 2 passing, but that's fine. I love doing that. Then I also use a Pauline who has 25 speed, like 19 strength, 10 shooting, 4 passing, and 5 technique, which means that she can still shoot from close, and she's not a fast dribbler, but because she has 25 speed, it makes her still very fast. For some reason, I noticed that if you have like 20 speed and 20 technique, it still makes you like a slower dribbler than if you have 25 speed. The thing is, mostly it just makes you start up slow, I guess, when you have only like 4 5 technique or something like that. But usually, what I do with the Pauline is I steal the ball from players by tackling because I have 19 technique and 25 speed. So then usually I already like build up speed, right? So I love that Pauline. I use her as like the backcourt player because she doesn't really get involved on offense much. I also have a Bowser with 18 strength, 18 speed, 17 shooting, I think like 6 passing, and then like 4 technique, something like that. It's really nice to have that Bowser. It's just often from close up can just like finish passes, and it's so good, and he's still a great defender. It's so nice to have. Yeah, and that was something I was talking about, right? The club matches. I had to make 3 other accounts to join myself, which is really stupid, right? Um, but then also there's no like normal option to play 4 players online. You have to do it 2 per console. You have to do 2 players on one console and then join through the internet 2 other players on one console. It's like, why can't you just play 4 players online? That's so weird to me. I guess it's not the biggest problem for me though, because I always just play solo, and I'm glad that I rarely find 4 players playing against me. So yeah, me personally, I really like the club matches, though there has to be like workarounds to it, like I said, right? And it's really limited, but it's super fun to just create your own club and customize stuff and add characters. People can join your club, right? and you can customize like your stadium and stuff like that. It's really cool in my opinion. And what else I really like is the fact that there's a new season every week. You know, they have a three-day season every, or 4-day season, I guess, from Thursday through Sunday, and then they have like a 3-day off season. It used to be a lot longer of an off season. It used to be like a 3-day season and then have like a week break. But now it's just like a 4-day break, so that's much better. But the seasons are so short though. I don't like that. It's only like 4 days of a season. But I like that it's super frequent. And usually I only have to play like 1 or 2 days, like a handful of games, and then I've already done enough to keep my rank, right? So I was always hoping they'd add more characters, but eventually it stopped, right? And that's fine. But I was really hoping, well, I mean, I was hoping for like a max shooter, and Birdo really came through with that. I was able to like make her like a 25 shooting stat character with like 15 technique. But also I built something which was like 23 shooting and like 20 technique. That made her like such a good shooter. But eventually I noticed that I still kind of like that Rosalina gives a little bit more of speed and defense. So eventually I went back to Rosalina. I was hoping for more of like a speedy shooter. Like the best I can do is Birdo having like 20 speed and like 19 shooting. And it's like that works fine, but I wish there was a character that had maybe like 25 speed and like 20 shooting, or like the other way around, right? But it's fine, you know, my team is still solid, and I was wishing for like another fast playmaker. Like you got Peach and Toad and Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong and Toad don't really do it for me. I always stick just with Peach, and I wish there was like a competitor for Peach, right? Well, like I said before, all the criticisms I gave, they're really valid, they're really fair, and like even the ones I didn't mention, like a lot of criticism people had, they're valid, right? It's not like objectively one of the best games, and I guess there's no objectivity in an opinion, right? But I mean, it's fair if you don't like this game. For me, it's just it ticks all the right boxes, right? It's just so addictive to me. It's my favorite Switch game. To me, it's more fun than Smash Brothers, more fun than Breath of the Wild or whatever. Like it's my favorite Switch game. And I know it sounds ridiculous. It's so weird even to me, but it is my favorite game. I still play it a few days a week when there's a new club season, and it's just so fun to me. And it went all the way back to like the online playtest. I love that they did that. It was so much fun to try it for the first time, and I was like, wow, this game is so much fun. And I wanted to buy it immediately right after it, right? And I loved watching Nintendo Directs. Like every like 3 months there was a Nintendo Direct, and sometimes it was like a separate video, not a Nintendo Direct. It was just so hype to see the content drops of Mario Strikers. And even like recently there was a Nintendo Direct, and of course it didn't have Mario Strikers content because they're not updating it anymore. And it felt so weird. Like I always expected to see Mario Strikers content, and it was always like my favorite part of the Direct. I really missed that. It was so much fun. Honestly, I feel I saw like a review on this game, and it was someone who wasn't very enthusiastic about this game, right? And like I said, that's deserved. I wasn't upset about that review or anything, but he said that he expects like a sequel on like the current Nintendo Switch or like a next console that like builds upon this engine and makes it better, right? He compared it to like Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which eventually became Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch, right? I I would be so down for that. Like I would agree that this game has flaws and is limited and needs a better sequel. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it, but if they're gonna do it, I'd be so on board, and I really hope so. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It'd be so awesome, especially because like the like super bare bones version is like my favorite Switch game, and I played it for 300 hours. Could you imagine if they make a sequel that's better? I hope to find more people in the comments. Please feel free to comment. Like if you play this game still, let me know. You can add me on Twitter. I'm at Mav_Zero_games. I still play this game like a couple of days a week. I would love to follow you on Twitter and talk about Mario Strikers. I'd love to see you in the comments, and let me know which 4 characters you use in your club, right? What works for you. Maybe we can exchange tips on stuff like that. That'd be super fun to me. This community is like super dead, right? And I'd love to find more people who still play it. I really appreciate it if you watch this video all the way through. That means a lot to me because this is my favorite Switch game. So thank you very much.